Hi, you guys. Welcome to my car studio. We'll call it Camaro Studios. Um, I have been wanting to get on here and just like share my thoughts with you guys in hopes to maybe help open people's eyes and gain a different way that we look at things in life. I'm going to first off say that I am not a professional like therapist thing, but I am going to say this. I have a lot of years of experience in having one-on-one time with people. So my background is I have been doing hair for 20 years now, which is crazy to say that out loud, but it's so cool at the same time. And the coolest thing that has came out of this job for me has been understanding people and connecting with people on a whole different level that I never knew was possible. And I am so like insanely grateful for it because it has given me such a different perspective and different way to look at things. And I tell people all the time, I probably wouldn't meet half of these people and have these relationships and friendships and connections with them if I didn't do this job. So I will forever be grateful for being a cosmetologist and hairstylist because you have the unique opportunity to learn so much from so many different people that come from so many different walks of life and backgrounds that maybe, you understood growing up. And I'm going to be completely honest that when I first started, I grew up in a very loving household. My parents are still married to this day and love each other. And I have 3 sisters, so there's 4 girls in my family. And the way that my parents raised us was awesome, in my opinion. But it was also very, they were very protective over us. And so we grew up very, I would say, innocent, not really understanding a whole lot of stuff that goes on in the world. And it's not like we were shielded. We had a lot of good family conversations about things, but I think nothing can prepare you until you go out into the world and live life and then just, meet people and listen to their stories. And so in my first year of doing hair, I remember kind of struggling because I was so curious. It was like a two-sided coin. So on one side, I was just loving meeting all these new people and learning from them and listening to their stories. But then there was some stories that I would hear that I would be almost floored and not exactly sure what to do with because I had never experienced half of these things or more than half of these things that people would bring in my chair and just kind of unload and drop off, which that's such an honor that people feel safe enough with you to be able to do that. I could say so much about the things I've learned doing hair, and I just am so grateful. However, I'm gonna throw myself under the bus here and say I used to, if I'm reflecting back and seeing it now for what it was, I used to judge people. And I have learned that you judge what you don't know and you don't understand. So it wasn't in a judgment thinking that I was better than people. It was more of a, I don't know, maybe because I couldn't relate. So it's like, how would you judge, like I said, you just judge what you don't know and you don't understand. But I will say why I have loved my job so much and why now I feel like I look at things so different and I treat people a certain way now is because everybody has a story. Everybody has a different background, and what helps you understand people, even if you've never been in their shoes, I truly think that what helps bring people together and connects you and helps you hold space for people that are different than you is listening to understand. You give them space so that they can kind of set up their whole story and listen to what they're saying, and it helps you understand them. And I wish more people did that. So basically what I want to talk about today, and my main message is, I am convinced that it is easier to judge. there's so many people, and I'm not talking about judging, like, I'm not talking about like, especially like as females, we're always trying to be safe, you have to be judgmental, use good judgment when you are at a gas station late at night by yourself. Okay. Like, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about, you see somebody, you see how they're dressed, you see how they look, you see if they take care of themselves or if they don't, we do this, like, people, we're human beings. We always have these snap judgments. But the beautiful thing about holding space for somebody and getting to know somebody and listening to somebody is, you might have a quick judgment, but if you have the desire to want to understand, I truly feel that, like, when your heart is in that right space, you can literally learn to love just about everybody, because you have, it's something in your heart. You have the desire to understand. So you are going to take time and get to know them. So why I say it's easier to judge is because judging requires nothing. Judging requires you not asking any questions, you not holding space, you not giving time, you not trying, you not getting out of your own head and your own belief system, and understanding that maybe the way that you have understood things could be wrong, So it's like, I just encourage you guys that if you find yourself being super judgmental of other people, I'm going to say this with a lot of love, because I always want to deliver. I feel like there's always a kind way to get a message across, but you got to start looking within yourself and asking yourself the right questions of why do I judge all these people? A lot of the time it has stuff to do with us, and just to simplify it, is you're not taking time, nor maybe do you want to take time to understand people, but that's on you. That's not on somebody else. So in my part of my story, I guess I could say, or a running theme, we'll say that, a running theme in my life, and this is not for me to like have people feel sorry for me or anything like that, because this is not why I'm sharing this with you, but I have been misread most of my life. Like, I've always loved to dress up. I love fashion. I love putting outfits together. I love, obviously I'm in the beauty industry, so I love everything and anything about that. But I love helping other women and men feel their best. And, but in that process, doing hair is probably like this much, and like connecting with people and building relationships, and I call it therapy. Our therapy sessions is like this much. That's the bigger part of just how we connect with others and impact each other's lives in a positive way. But I talk in tangents, so just bear with me. But so I've been misread my whole life, because what I used to get in the first year or two of my business is I was platinum blonde, icy white, almost just white blonde, fresh out of beauty school. That was a whole thing. And I used to love to dress up. Like, I wanted to make sure my clients knew that they were coming to somebody that cared, put effort into how they showed up professionally, and just put time and effort into my looks, because I wanted that to translate into my business. But I was always shocked that the biggest hurdle that I faced in that first year was because I presented myself in such a way, people judged that, which I was kind of shocked, because I'm like, I'm in the beauty business. Like, I should be looking the part. I should be looking like I know how to do this and what I'm talking about and what I represent. Like, I'm my own walking billboard or business card, right? But what ended up happening, and I would spend, anywhere from an hour to a couple hours if we were doing a color service with a new client. And the thing that I heard the most at the end of every appointment in that first year was, I'm so relieved that you're so nice. And they're like, when I first saw you, I thought you were kind of going to be stuck up and, maybe rude, or, arrogant, or whatever they would use. Or one lady even said, I thought you were going to be a B. And I was like, oh my gosh, because in my head I was like, that's like the furthest thing that I am is that. I have such a big heart for people, but it'd be funny that I'm like, dang, I'm getting judged because I carry myself a certain way and I like to, put this extra time and effort into my looks, but people even judge that, which was wild because most of the time, I mean, in my opinion, I've seen it opposite. Like the people that do put time and effort and energy into themselves, I have heard other people kind of hate on people that don't. So I was like, gosh, you know what? Again, another thing, like over 20 years, I have kind of I take info, I stick it in my filing cabinet system in the back, and I just kind of reflect on it. And as hairstylists, I don't know if anybody is watching that also is in this industry or not, but we do a lot of reflecting because we spend so much time exchanging energies and being in and around things that your clients are bringing to you. And so a lot of the time when you're off work, you kind of reflect over the things that you talked about with each one of your clients that day. And so I just used to think, gosh, like, I'm convinced in that first year, I actually loved that I could prove people wrong and break that stereotype or that judgment that they had in their mind of, thinking that just because somebody might look a certain way, it might not, go with that typical stereotype. And I know we do that. I know there's stereotypes out there about all kinds of people, but when you take time and truly get to know a person for who they are and sit with somebody and actually have a conversation, and like I said, hold space for that person and truly just want to understand them on a different level, those judgments start just breaking down. So I would just encourage you guys to question yourselves more than you point the finger at other people. And like I said, when you start catching yourself that you're judging somebody, start asking yourself questions instead of putting that all on them, because there's something that people that tend to be more judgmental, you kind of are telling on yourself of where you're at in your life. If you truly are secure and you know who you are and you're proud of who you are, somebody judging you is not going to rattle you very much. But I think my main, where my heart is at with just talking about this is, you think after years and years, and I know social media is what it is sometimes, but I think it just kind of bothers me and makes me sad to see that, especially as women hate to be judged. Anyone hates to be judged, but women in particular, because we want to be understood and seen, and so it's always kind of like surprising to me that people are still doing that. And it's like, I just watched a reel, and I think this is what's causing this conversation to happen right now, is I just watched a reel that there was a girl talking about like raising awareness or talking about what's wrong in the fitness industry about like what girls wear to the gym. And so it was a duet video, because the first girl was talking about, she was kind of hating on what girls wear. And the second girl was kind of saying, how sad that is, because why are we so worried about what people are wearing at the gym? And I think I want to take that just a step further. And what I'm trying to run home is how we treat others always starts inside of our hearts, okay? So that's why I say to ask yourself those questions, because so this person is trying to, get views and get people riled up in the comments by hating on what one girl is wearing in the gym. But this is the sad thing, is like, when did we forget that we're talking about people and we're talking about a person? And isn't somebody more than their body, and isn't somebody more than what they're wearing? Like, these are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. just as much as we could judge a girl in the gym for wearing something maybe a little bit revealing. You know how there's always a polar opposite of that spectrum is, are these people that are doing that and judging those people in the gym, are they also going to the street where there's homeless people and hating on what they're wearing? You know, it's like, do we see the problem here? It's like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day how we're judging and what we're saying. That's not the issue. The issue is that we're judging. The issue is that our hearts are in the wrong place and we're looking at the wrong thing and forgetting that we're talking about a human being that has feelings and has a heart too. It's like that golden rule is treat others how you would like to be treated, right? It's like, if somebody was doing this exact thing to me, how would that make me feel? These are the things that I just challenge you guys and myself too. If I'm telling you guys a message, I've been telling it to myself first. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I always have this phrase in my head of, I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm trying to call you higher. We got to be better than that. We got to set the example. If everybody's gossiping, be the one that doesn't. If everybody's judging Brenda in the gym that has barely any clothes on, let's go get to know who that is. Do the opposite. It's easier to not spend time and to not care and to not put any effort in. It's easier to judge. So I just wanted to come on here and say, like, let's do better. Let's do better. And if you're not there yet to want to hold space for other people, that's okay. Like, don't do it if it's not going to be genuine. But I would just encourage you to think before you judge, think before you speak, think before you act, and start asking yourself questions of, why is it that this person is bothering me, and why is it, or that this thing is bothering me, and why is it, what about them and what about this situation is causing me to judge this so hard? You'd probably be surprised by what you kind of find inside of yourself. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm so darn grateful for all my clients, because they truly have just opened my eyes throughout the years of not only how I want to be, treated and understood by others, but how I want to be towards other people. I want people to be in my presence and to feel seen and understood and heard and loved. And I think that's such a beautiful free gift that we can actually give out to people. Just start learning better habits and better practices to show up as just a decent, loving human being, because I feel like that's what's missing nowadays. Is social media I think a lot of people think that social media connects people, but I truly feel like it's causing more of a divide and a disconnect. And we have such a beautiful opportunity to use social media in such a healthy way of doing things differently and encouraging others to maybe try to adopt new perspectives and new ways to look at things. So yeah, that's basically it. That's my TED Talk of the day. If you like this at all, leave me a comment and let me know if there's any other topics that you'd want me to touch on or talk about. I have millions in my head swirling around all the time because, like I said, I'm not a therapist, but I've been giving out free therapy and listening for 20 years now, and I feel like I have a lot of good material and good insight and maybe a different perspective. I love to challenge people with looking at the other side of the coin in every circumstance, because I feel like there's always different ways we can look at things and learn from and grow from. So yeah, so if you enjoyed this, like it, let me know, share it. Comment if there's anything else that you would want me to talk on. If there's questions that you have that you want me to answer, I'm more than happy to give my best wisdom and insight with what I do understand and know. And I'm the first one that I'm still always learning and trying to improve and become my best self. So if there's ever anything that I don't know, I'm not going to act like I know, because that's annoying. I'm not an expert at life, but I do have the heart to want to learn and want to understand. So I feel like that's a good start. And I just honestly would love to build a community of people that have the genuine will or want to be their best selves, and just become as healthy and just happy as you can. And I feel like that always starts with us first, but how we love others, it's a gift that kind of is a revolving door. The more good you put out, the more good you receive. I truly believe that. And it's not in a transactional way. It's you feel good. So it's like, I just want to be a little ray of sunshine for people, because we need more of that. You can focus on the negative stuff in life, but I choose to look at the positives, because I feel like your mentality and how you look at the world and you look at your life and your circumstances is powerful. And I just want to put positive vibes, positive energies, positive influences out into the world. So yeah, I cannot wait to hear from you guys, and I will be back with more topics soon. I've got 110 of them. I write them down all the time. So I will be back with another topic soon. Okay, you guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.